Today we're going to talk about creating and sending an email using your Gmail pirate email. Before you begin, you want to make sure that you are logged into a Chrome browser using your Google School credentials. Once you've done that, you'll go to your Hello ID dashboard. The Hello ID dashboard should be found in your Granbury ISD bookmarks. From the Hello ID dashboard, you'll see a link that will open up your email. Once you're inside Gmail, you're going to click on Compose. There are three main parts to an email in Gmail. First is the to, next is the subject, and lastly is the body. The first thing you want to do is you want to click on the to and type in the recipient or who the email is going to. In this example, I'm going to send an email to Mrs. Daffin. Her email address will pop up if I start typing her name. Her first name is Kelsey, so if I type in K-E, then a list of K-E names will pop up. If I'm not sure what her first name is, I can type Daffin for the first 3 or 4 letters of that name, and it'll pop up. Now, let's say that I'm writing to Miss Daffin as a class project to tell her thank you for being such an amazing teacher. If you're doing an assignment like this for me, you're also going to want to include me on the email so that I can prove that you sent it and grade your work. There are 2 different ways that you can add other recipients. One is by clicking on the CC. If you were to click on CC right now and type my name, Miss Daffin and I would both be able to see who received the email. Now, Ms. Daffin might be a little bit insulted that you're sending her an email about how amazing she is if you're also sending it to me. She would know that that was part of your assignment. So we want to send a BCC instead. A BCC is a blind carbon copy. That means that nobody except for the person receiving the blind carbon copy knows that they received it. So in this particular instance, I'm going to type Dawn Bradley. And now I can see that you sent it to Ms. Daffin, but Ms. Daffin won't be able to see that I'm added to your email. Our subject line is going to be a simple summary of what your email is about. So maybe you want to be writing a thank you email. So the subject line is thank you. 2 mistakes that students often make when they're writing emails is 1, they leave out the subject line altogether. And so a subject line is really important so that who's receiving the email will know if it's something that needs immediate attention or can be held off for a bit. The other thing that I see students do often is write too much in their subject line. Thank you for being an amazing art teacher last year. That's probably a little bit longer than what she needs to see. So I'm going to condense that just to a simple thank you. The next thing that you need to put in your email is a greeting. Dear Miss or Mr. If you're unsure if the lady is married or not, an MS is simply will work. So I'm going to put Dear Miss Daffin. Then I do a comma and I enter down, and now I'm going to type the rest of the body of the email. Thank you for being So you're going to type in whatever your message is. You want to make sure that you proof your message and that capitalization is important. 2 of the things that I will grade off for often on emails is if you do not capitalize your name or the other person's name, because you are important and you've been learning capitalization since you learned to write your name in kindergarten. And the other thing is you always want to capitalize I. That's a standard capitalization that a lot of students simply just don't do because they're lazy. And I know that in a lot of the applications that you use on cell phones and tablets, it'll capitalize it for you, but make sure you get in the habit of doing it when you type. After you type the body of the email, you want to enter down 2 times, and you're going to type a closing. Sincerely is always a general one that will work really well. You could do your student, thank you, kind regards. There's lots of different things that you can put for the closing. You're going to enter down 2 more times, and then you'll type your first and last name. Now, if you think that the recipient may not know who you are, it's a good idea to type your class period and what class you're in so that the teacher or the recipient knows where the email is coming from. So maybe I put Don Bradley, first period graphics. Okay, so that's kind of a title, or it gives description of who I am. Now, the next thing is, in most time when we are sending an email, we'll want to add an attachment. So if I click on the little paperclip down here to attach the file, I can go to wherever my files are saved and attach whatever I want to that. Let's say I want to send her a team logo template. So I'm going to attach it, and I hit open. And now my attachment will show up right here if I've done it correctly. If you're sending an attachment, it's always a really good idea to include or mention that in the body. Since you are one of my favorite teachers, I wanted to share this graphic that I made. Okay? Okay, so you want to let them know that to look for an attachment. So somehow mention it down there. Now there are 2 other things that you can do with this email. In the lower right corner, you'll see 3 dots. If I click right there, there's 2 things that are important. First, spell check. You always want to run spell check. If a word is misspelled or not done correctly, you'll see a red line under it. Usually it'll offer a suggestion. So this one says I should have a hyphen in between it. And so everything else looks correct. The other thing that I can come down here and do is request a read receipt. That means that when the person opens the email, they'll get a message that says, you want to know if they have received your email. Okay, this is always good just to make sure that the other person opens the email and reads it. There are other things that you can add down here at the bottom. If you want to add a Bitmoji, you would click on this green icon. If you want to change some of the formatting options so that you customize certain words, you can change the font and the formatting by clicking on the A with the line under it. You can attach files with the paperclip. We already talked about that. If you're inserting a link to a website, you'll just click on the little link here. You can also insert emojis. You want to be careful about using emojis in professional or business-like emails. Save those for when you're just emailing your friends or it's something very casual. If you're attaching something from your Google Drive, there's a Google Drive button right here. You can also insert a photo right here. If you insert the photo here, the photograph will actually show up within the email, whereas if you do it as an attachment, it will be a separate link for them to open up. You can toggle on confidential mode. In school, I don't know that we would ever really need to use that. And then you can create a custom signature that you would always use that would put information down here for you. In this particular instance, I think this is good how we have it, so we would click on send. Anyway, that is how you compose an email.